Look closely and you'll notice that almost all of the world's millionaires and billionaires have very similar characteristics and behaviors. But what do these people have in common that leads them to achieve such extraordinary results? Could ordinary people achieve similar results? The truth is that they are all ordinary people, and most of them come from very different backgrounds to the ones they live in today. What we have to do is model these behaviors, adapt them to our reality, and seek similar results. Embark now on this journey towards excellence. You don't want to be left out. To begin with, think about it. How would your life be different if you simply hadn't given up on what you abandoned years ago? What would your life be like today? Today, we're going to discuss 8 habits that successful people adopt and that less successful people don't usually practice. I firmly believe that there's no need to reinvent the wheel. If someone has already achieved something, you can too. When I was younger and read the book Think and Grow Rich, I realized that regardless of where I was born or my emotions, what matters is putting the right pieces in place to create the life I want. If I do that, I'll end up getting what I want. Success is a relative word and can mean something different to each person. For you, success can mean joy, peace, happiness, a big family, cars, travel, clothes, freedom. Everyone has their own definition. However, when I look at life, I see that each thing has stages in order to be successful. Success can mean different things to different people, but there are common behaviors among those who have achieved success in their lives. For me, success is having the ultimate freedom. The freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. And for you, what is success? A common characteristic among many successful people, although not all, is the consistency of waking up early and following a morning routine. During my research, I discovered that people like Richard Branson, who is a multi-billionaire, wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Tim Cook, another multi-billionaire, also wakes up at 4:30 a.m. Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks, wakes up at 5 a.m. I'm not saying you have to wake up at these times, but the reason these people do is to have time for themselves, whether it's to read, write in a diary, or exercise. They use those early hours to dedicate themselves to becoming who they want to be before starting work. Even with millions of employees, these people wake up early every day to ensure personal time in the early hours of the morning. And you? Have you dedicated time to yourself? Imagine waking up at least an hour earlier and using that time for yourself instead of watching Netflix or sports. If you cut an hour off your evening leisure time and went to bed earlier, waking up an hour earlier, how would that affect your life? So ask yourself, do you feel like you're waking up early enough to have time dedicated exclusively to you? If the answer is no, I recommend incorporating this habit into your routine. Another interesting thing is that these people read almost every day. An article published a few years ago mentioned that the average CEO reads around 60 books a year, more than 1 book a week. That's something to consider. How many books are you currently reading? How often do you seek learning and growth? Take advantage of the knowledge of the most successful people who have ever lived. Life offers the possibility of learning anything, from self-development and personal mastery to religion and spirituality, through books already written by some of the most extended minds in history. Why not start reading these books? Set yourself a target of how many books you want to read each month, write that number down, and stick to it. In addition, an essential habit of successful people is to practice regularly. They record the connection between mind and body. If the body isn't in shape, the mind won't be either. An example is that feeling of tiredness after eating something heavy in the middle of the day. Have you ever experienced this? After lunch, you feel exhausted and need coffee. This fatigue can be caused by what you eat, showing how food and exercise affect your energy levels. These people usually exercise in the morning or evening, increasing their energy throughout the day. The more energy you have, the more capable you are of pursuing your goals. Therefore, working out consistently, at least 4 times a week, is a common practice among them. Another crucial point is to write down your goals regularly. A study carried out by Harvard in the 1970s with MBA graduates revealed that only 3% wrote down their goals. 10 years later, these 3% have been 10 times more successful than the other 97% combined. Writing down your goals makes them concrete, something you can see and work towards. Many people have goals, but they don't write them down, which prevents them from being achieved. Imagine you need to solve a multiplication problem in your head, like 127x43. Most people wouldn't be able to do it without help. But with pen and paper, this task becomes simple, using what you learned at school. The same goes for goals. When you write them down and work on them, they become clearer and more achievable. Get into the habit of writing down your objectives every day and reviewing them, as if you were drawing up a business plan. This will give you clarity and focus on what you want to achieve. Ask yourself, how often do you write down your objectives? If it's not a habit, consider starting to practice it daily. Finally, successful people value mentors. They play a key role in guiding personal and professional growth. An article from a few years ago mentioned that most people who became millionaires had, on average, 7 mentors before achieving this status. So if you don't already have a mentor, consider the importance of this. Mentors can significantly shorten your learning curve, condensing 20 years of knowledge and experience into just 2 years for you. That's the real value of hiring a coach or mentor. A mentor is someone who is ahead of you in the process, who has already walked the path you want to walk and made the mistakes you can avoid. By learning from them, you can save time, avoid common obstacles, and focus on the actions that will lead to your goal. For example, I have a friend I met recently. She runs a business in the same sector as mine, but her company makes $50 million a year, while mine makes $5 million. She's way ahead. What does she know that I don't? How can I add value to her and bring to my business the success she has achieved in hers? By adopting the habit of seeking out mentors, you begin to find shortcuts to achieving your goals by connecting with people who already have the keys to success. There are 2 types of mentors, paid and free. Find out which one best suits your needs. I have many friends who are excellent mentors and with whom I exchange ideas for free. They help me and I help them, but without any formal obligation. Paid mentors, on the other hand, have a more structured and consistent commitment. As you're investing financially in them, there is greater accountability and regularity in the meetings, which can provide more targeted support focused on your success. Regardless of whether you choose a paid or free mentor, the important thing is to have someone who can guide you, providing the insights you need to open the door to your goals. Key number 6 that I've observed in successful people is the practice of positive self-talk. We all start life with a positive attitude, but adversity over time can erode this. It's essential to cultivate and refine this positivity. You won't always feel super motivated, but it's crucial to find ways to encourage yourself and take action. Building a positive self-talk system involves being intentional with the thoughts and dialogues you have with yourself. An illustrative example is how we deal with negative thoughts. Imagine a container filled with soil, representing negative thoughts. If you add a glass of water, a little will change. However, if you use a garden hose with a constant stream of water, it will eventually clean away all the dirt. So it's not enough to have occasional positive thoughts. You need to maintain a continuous flow of positivity to eliminate negative thoughts. Establish the practice of constantly cultivating positive thoughts to clear your mind of negativity and make room for success. To maintain a positive attitude throughout the day, it's crucial to create a mental pattern that pushes negative thoughts away. When I notice that I'm falling into negativity, I immediately correct myself. Ask yourself, what aspect of my mindset do I need to improve? Actively cultivate positive thoughts to expel negativity. The 7th point is that successful people don't experience failure. In their minds, failure only exists if they give up completely. They fail more often than most, but they don't focus on past mistakes. They focus on how to get it right on the next attempt. To achieve success, you have to accept failures as part of the journey. The 8th point is that these people never give up. They decide what they want and are keen to keep trying until they reach their goals. The secret to success is to persist more than your competitors, because most of them will give up at some point. If you decide to keep going, regardless of the challenges, you will develop the skills and knowledge needed to overcome them all. It's perseverance that leads to success. Think of people who are seen as great successes, but who failed countless times, like Abraham Lincoln, who faced many adversities before becoming President of the United States. The difference is that these people didn't let their failures derail them. Destiny remains unchanged because they keep moving forward. Reflect on how your life would be different if you had never given up on something important. What would your mind, body, and life be like today if you had maintained the focus and persistence of 10 years ago? From now on, I've decided that I won't stop, and success will become a natural consequence. Success requires strength, focus, resilience, method, and consistency. It's not free. It requires us to be the best at what we do, and the reward is guaranteed. And to continue your journey to success and become another millionaire, subscribe to the channel now.